So today I'm going to be teaching about visual activity schedules. Visual activity schedules are a series of images used to portray a timeline of events. So to the right, we see two examples of visual activity schedules. The first one is a calendar displaying the whole week. So it will show a schedule for every individual day of the week. On the bottom right, we see a first-then visual schedule. So basically, this is used to help the transition between activities run more smooth. So who benefits from visual activity schedules are mainly children and adolescents with ASD, autism spectrum disorder. Communication deficits are often a common experience for individuals with autism, so having a visual activity schedule just puts that communication in a visual way where they can refer back and see that visually. According to the National Professional Development Center on ASD, there are two steps of implementation of visual activity schedules. Step 1 of implementation includes to create a general class schedule. So creating a general class schedule allows consistency for students with ASD. It also provides a visual, whether you add pictures to the schedule or just words, they can refer back to that. It's important to display these schedules in a central location and inform students of any scheduled changes. Step 2 of implementation is to create a visual schedule for individual learners. So as we saw in the first slide on visual activity schedules, there are different types of visual activity schedules, and it really just depends on the individual's needs, wants, and preferences on which type of schedule would work best for them. So, for example, if you're working with a student who may be working on making transitions between activities a little bit more smoother, it may be better to do a first-then visual activity schedule rather than a schedule of the entire week. So a few tips to help with this are to assess a learner's comprehension level, attention span, and sequencing abilities. Determine format, which I previously explained. Some students want to see every single activity, and others like to only see a couple of activities at a time. For some learners, it may overwhelm them to see more than even like a couple of hours of activities. Maybe they can see a day, they could see maybe a whole week, but it really just depends on the student. So that's where it's important to assess the individual on their preferences. It's also important to place a matching visual cue in the classroom where each activity will take place for some students. So this basically just allows the student to look at their schedule and see in the classroom or in the school where that activity will take place. And visual activity schedules can be used in K-12 general education or self-contained classrooms. In the implementation of visual activity schedules has proven to reduce problem behaviors, decrease latency to begin a new activity, and decrease tantrums during transitions.